Welcome back, everybody. It's time for some more SPL playoff action here. Rogue tearing it up, taking a 2-0 lead, and CJ in a very uncomfortable spot.
They're running out of options, and they're on a pretty awkward map, merry-go-round. They're kind of forced into a place where they've already used one of their Terrans, one of their best Terrans at that. And, I mean, all they have left, really, is the Zerg player and one of these other Terrans that aren't as good in the matchup or just we have not seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're beyond trying to get some snipe picks out or trying to send somebody out like Sora and be like, oh, what has he got planned? Oh, he's got some specific strategy in worst case scenario when it's 0-2. I actually feel like they don't have that right now. Not right now this season. And Biel is going to be the player. Good call.
Yeah, I'm happy I got that right. But, I mean, they were out of options, Wolf. There wasn't much left to it. They really can't risk any more snipe picks, any risky plays that they haven't used in a while. They need someone who is solid, who used to be an ace for his previous team, who knows how to lift when required. Biel is that man, and he is good in this matchup. He's very good in this matchup.
That he is. He's had some very great ZVZs throughout his career as well. 2-2 this season. It was a pretty solid record, but doesn't really do justice actually how good this guy has been in the past in individual leagues as well. Even in the GSTL way back when. I mean, he's shown some solid ZVZ.
He's always been one of my favorite Zerg players. He's always had the ability to do so well and beat just about anyone. And I think we even saw Biel just the other week, or just last week, defeat Dark, of all people. Yeah. Very convincingly in a nice macro match on merry-go-round, granted. So
definitely something to keep in mind. Now, Rogue here, definitely somebody who's shown some great ZVZs. He 3-0'd Sulky in the SSL, but that's when you have a ton of preparation. When you know who your opponent is, you know when the map is. In this case, he could not have potentially prepared for this. He would not have known that he would get 2 kills for sure and then face Biel. He has no preparation whatsoever. He knows now who he's up against. Well, there's not enough time to prepare some sort of specific strategy here. I think we're going to take a look at our predictions here for the Zerg versus Zerg. And let's take a look at what the Korean commentators are thinking. I know what you're thinking, Moonglade. You're on my page here. I'm feeling Rogue.
Yeah, I'm still sticking with Rogue. I think he's got that momentum behind him at this point. He's playing very well. I think this is going to be one of the closest matches tonight, though.
Valdez going with Biel as Daehyun and Monday Caster. Kanada's on our side, though. Pretty even split. CJ needs a win here in this Zerg versus Zerg. Let's jump into it. The map is merry-go-round here for game number 3. All right, up to the top left in red for CJ, it's Biel. Needs a win.
Down here in the bottom center, it is Rogue. Up 2 wins, riding that momentum.
The momentum is definitely strong with him right now. Trying to read that. The handwriting's too hard for me. He ignored something. Something happened, he ignored it, and he came here. That's what I got from that. Anyways, it's good to be back, by the way. Yesterday was technically my first day back, but it didn't really go according to plan. Really happy to be back casting with you, Moonglade.
It's good to have you back, man.
Well, we're going to have a 10 pool here, looks like.
We are.
From Rogue. He loves to do early pools, man, in this matchup.
Rogue, you sly dog. Let's see if we're going to see a 15 pool from Biel, or is he going to be going for that 15 hatch and a possible quick death?
Gonna have to wait and see.
I like what Rogue's doing. He's mixing it up against a player who is obviously very strong in a macro game. Very keen to take it to that mid to late game in the Roach Wars.
Yep, and the Baneling follow-up, man. It looks like we're going to be seeing that drone rally down here.
We are going to see a hatch first. This could be a quick one, folks.
Certainly could be, and this is looking like a disaster waiting to happen right now for CJ Antis.
The stars are aligning for Rogue. That first Overlord going directly towards the natural is going to be seeing that hatch first.
Yep, and Bjell's Overlord goes the wrong direction to the top right. Everything is wrong for Bjell. Everything is right now for Rogue, and this happens sometimes in ZVZ. This is why I was saying, when you go into Game 3 on the line, do you really want a ZVZ? It's kind of risky, but at this point, I feel like they decided they had no other choice.
Yeah, they didn't really have another choice, especially on this map. They don't have another strong Terran to kind of come out here and bully a Zerg. So they're left to their one Zerg, really, to lift up here and go for that ZVZ. And unfortunately, he just chose the wrong build order. Let's see if he can hold on. It's not game over till it's over.
No, never say it's over till it's over. We've seen some crazy micro tricks. Okay, Lings are scouted now by the Overlord. Cancel on that gas immediately. It's not going to make his pool finish any faster. It's almost done, though. This is all going to be up about micro. There's 2 extra Lings. As soon as they hit the natural, probably going to get morphed straight to Banelings. The Baneling nest is done. They're actually going to morph those right now with his first 3. That's very aggressive.
It's very aggressive, very ambitious, The drones could simply go down there and try and attack them, though they are probably running out of time at this point.
Yeah, the ramp's pretty far away.
Yeah. If he was jumping on it, if he had his drones ready, he could have came down there and tried to deny them. But we are going to see 3 Banelings go in. It all comes down to the detonations now.
Look at that control right there. Solid hit on those Lings.
It couldn't have been better.
And he kills the larva.
What?
He kills the larva.
That's a mistake, man. That is the biggest mistake in the universe right there.
Well, I think the Banelings could have definitely been worth more, but at least he got the larva.
No, Wolf. That's horrible, man. You never want to kill that. It was like 1 lava against 2 hatcheries. There's going to be more than enough lava to kind of compensate for anything that gets killed in one base.
It's just so weird,
It's really unsettling. I think that's one hell of a mistake, but it shouldn't.
It doesn't look like it might not matter, man.
Yeah, well, that's still so many drones. 15 drones in the main mining right now.
Well, good splits here. The first Baneling gets taken out. He's going to try to split his drones here. He's losing a lot of mining time. 2 queens out now.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
Well, you said never say it's over till it's over.
Never say it's over until the 2 Banelings go into the hatchery. Oh, yeah, he's defended this flawlessly from this point.
Oop, 2 Banelings back here could get something done.
He better get at least...
He needs to get a lot.
He better get 10 drones with this.
Let's see if he realizes. He does not.
Oh, okay. This kind of helps it out at least.
He's down to
bit.
6 harvesters now.
All right.
He does have double hatch, so double larva.
6 versus 9. 6 versus 9. He can keep this going, but there's 2 queens and a Spinecrawler making in the natural. He's going to have to transition, and we are seeing that first drone being made once again from Rogue. This game goes on.
He has so much larva. I wonder what happened there. It almost looked like a deliberate choice, but it must not have been. It just had to be a misclick.
No, he right-clicked the hatchery by accident. It was quite the blunder, I think. And that's a game-ending blunder. He's down a hatchery, man.
He's down a hatch. The worker count's now even. Almost. It's actually ahead for Bjell. And
he's completely stabilized at this point. There's no breaching this natural. Not with 2 queens there, with energy for transfuse and a Spinecrawler. Such a critical mistake under pressure.
Well, this scout comes in here. It's actually going to just check everything.
Yeah.
Sees link speed's on the way.
Yeah.
He sees he doesn't have a queen.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a hatch.
Probably the biggest thing of all is like, oh, you actually just didn't even have a queen.
Well, I mean, guys, to be frank, it's not looking good for Rogue. It looked excellent before.
It looked like a game-winning sort of build. It generally is. I mean, we saw Bjell lose to Terra, I believe, with a similar build. Or at least Terra killed someone with that build. We're going to see Speedlings come up. They could run in. No, they can't even run to the main base. There's Zerglings up there.
Good wall. I mean, he saw speed was being researched. He expected something like this.
And he's going to try for some damage on drones, which...
Killing 1 or 2 drones isn't going to be enough to make up for the deficit. Even a transfuse to save a drone. That's how ahead he is. He can just afford to do that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what Rogue's caught next down the pipeline, because there's not very many options at this point.
Well, I mean, he's only like 4 drones behind, which is, I guess, one sort of redeeming thing. But besides that, we're going to see Bjell just get way ahead way too quickly. He's got 4 queens now.
He can have a faster lair, I guess. I mean, he's got gas, but he's not mining it. I mean, I don't see what like his economy is not in a good enough position to where having a lair at this point would even be a good choice.
It's just one of those situations at this point where it's like, well, you're just critically behind because you went for an all-in and it failed. I have way better production. And we're even seeing Zergling harass with these slowlings, looking for a drone.
Yep. Speedlings trying to help out. A few more finally do come out, but a little bit of harassment done here. Not the end of the world. But he's just so significantly behind now in Harvesters. He made a wave of 10 lings, which is less larvae used on drones, which is going to further hurt his economy. Got the Evo Chamber wall set up at home. Roach Warren is done. Takes a third base. You know, he knows his opponent doesn't have link speed, so it's going to be hard to attack this.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing he can definitely do. When you got link speed on the map like this, you can take that third base very comfortably, but it's still pretty late regardless. And we already see +1 range on the way. We see the lair. A third done for Bjell. Going to be going into that roach speed nice and quickly. And it is 44 drones for Bjell against the 36 of Rogue. So, very clear lead in economy.
Yeah. Just using those speedlings to poke a little bit here. This hatchery is still unscouted. He may have seen the drone go over there. I mean, we don't know whether he saw that or not, but it's not on the map. He doesn't actually have vision of it.
Well, Bjell's just going to go for a casual third base himself with enough roaches to defend against just about anything that comes his way.
Yep.
He knows that really Rogue isn't going to be investing a lot in Zerglings at this point. He's going to be trying to play catch-up still.
That is what he's playing. He's making a ton of drones while his opponent roaches a little bit here and actually takes a Harvester lead temporarily and does have that faster saturation. He's going to need to have that for a significant period of time, though, to make up for the deficit that he already has in roaches to be able to catch up in that roach count. We'll see if he can make that happen. He is getting a lair as well as getting those double upgrades back at home himself. Definitely, you know, in not a great position, especially if this base gets scouted and pressured with the roach count that the Bjell is building right now, but he could get back into this.
He could, but it's going to be so hard. I mean, 12 roaches to 0 so far, and more roaches now on the way for Bjell. And, I mean, Bjell knows for sure that this third base is up and running. He's been seeing drones transfer there with his Overlord.
Yeah, he's seen it now. And
he sees the first few roaches coming out. There's such a big window for Bjell to just kill him.
And he has roach speed about to be finished, so that's going to line up with his +1 really nicely. Could actually just start moving across the map. I just don't see any way of Rogue holding this. If he could have kept it a secret, or if he could have had it up for a little bit longer, could have been able to made up for that loss in roach count. But I just don't see him holding this, Moonglade.
No, I think this is a steamroll sort of situation at this point. 16 roaches to 28. It'd really take a big blunder from Bjell to kind of get fought back.
He has +1. He has speed. And this is just an almost hopeless situation. He's going to be able to catch reinforcements here. Defender's advantage.
I mean, defender's advantage can work for sure, but
he's not in this much of a deficit, though. I don't feel it's going to matter.
Not with that concave, that's for sure. And the upgrade disadvantage. Maybe some decent transfusion.
Ling's coming out too.
Yeah. Maybe like pushing back for now, but he lost all mining on that third base. He lost 5 drones.
And right now, Bjell is just droning up. He's up to 62. He's got 3 fully saturated bases. This base totally empty right now. And we could have made the argument that if he had held here a little bit better, maybe he'd be in a good spot, Rogue, because he has 2 upgrades. He has 2 sets of upgrades. The armor does make a small difference. It's not as important as the range upgrade, but it does help a little bit.
It certainly helps your Zerglings. I mean, it means they don't get 2 shots anymore. It takes 3 shots, so they can buffer just a little extra time for your roaches to do the damage, but still. Down 30 supply, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible what Rogue's been able to do in this game despite his early deficit, because I guess Blue Baneling's up on a hatchery. Main problem here for him in this game.
Yeah.
Can't win them all, though. But he's trying to transition. He's trying to play safely. He's trying to take small advantages where he can. He's trying to use a small group of Zerglings to keep Bjell off his back, try to get some harassment done, try to buy time, but buy time for what? Already Burrow on the way, almost done. +2 for Bjell, almost done. And that's so much more significant than the +1 armor, which is an advantage he's only going to have for a little while longer, because the +1 armor of Bjell is also finishing right now.
Yeah, and the +2, more importantly for Bjell, is moments away from finishing, and that's pretty much the game-ending move right there. When you got +2 against roaches and roach versus roach, it's it makes such a big difference that if your opponent does not have it, it's going to be so one-sided, and guess what? We're about to see it.
Well, let's see this concave. I mean, he can pretty much just barrel into the concave like a bowling ball into pins right now, Moonblade.
He can. He could actually just stay in a bowl, and he'd be just fine. And there we go, 2-1.
It looks like he might be waiting for the roaches to move out. Something. He does burrow here for a second. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe to hide his numbers, but does harass with a few roaches over here. And now spreads his roaches out. He wants to draw some of these back, and then here comes the bowling ball, Moonblade. Does try to set up that concave. He does have, reinforcements. He does have that going for him, but this is just too much. Look at the supplies. 200 to 136. Crashing through these roaches. And that's going to be it. Biel is going to take the first win here for CJ Entis. GG.
Very nicely done. Nice hold from Biel, but it was all on Rogue to throw that game away. Throwing those 2 Banelings into a hatchery for no reason other than a misclick.
In my mind, I was like, he's already won this so hard that for me, I was like, I guess he's trying to get the larva. I don't know. It looks like a ridiculous choice. But I'm like, well, he's smarter than me, right?
Yeah, well, like,
I think it was just a misclick. That's the only explanation.
Yeah, he killed like 1 larva. The other one was an egg already, so like he wasn't going to kill it. So he barely gets away with that win. Very lucky. Very, very lucky for CJ.
But like you said, it's not over till it's over.
It's not over till it's over, which is why I didn't call it. Like, normally I would just be like, yeah, he's dead. Like, that should be a build order loss. If we can see Terra beat someone with that build, like, anyone can lose.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's the way it is. And next up, we are going to see Foxtrot Labs. So I wonder if we're going to maybe see Maru, maybe Cure. I think these guys are the ones that are geared up to take down the Zergs. Maybe even SOS, though I don't think on this map.
No. I think save SOS for Sejong. You're going to send him out against the Zerg. That's what I'd do if I were making the shots, but I don't make the shots. I feel like Cure is a safe choice here because you've still got 3 players left to use.
Exactly, and he's not like the big shot, the one that you're going to rely to take down Hero with. He's fantastic against Zerg. I think he's the safest choice, and he makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think Cure's parade pushing style that we've seen from him a lot works really well on Foxtrot as well. We'll have to wait and see, though. Rogue's got to be frustrated with that loss because that's the kind of I guess you could say you're riding on this momentum. You're feeling great, and you're like, wow, I got the best build ever, and my team, you just wanted me to come out and get 1 win, 2 wins is great, and I'm already going to get 3 wins for the team. And then you blow Banelings up on a hatch, you misclick, you make 1 wrong move.
Yeah, it's just a big mistake under pressure. But he should be happy that he got to take down 2 of the players. Shouldn't feel too bad for himself. Well, maybe a little bit. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself tonight.
No. Well, Biel knows he dodged the bullet, but a great transition. Biel's mid-game ZBZ is incredible. Really, really like to see it. If he can get there, he's one of the best in the business. Getting there is sometimes the